Hey guys, Terrence here. Just wanted to give a little warning that this story is kinda a lot scarier than my other ones. I sorta came up with a concept that was pretty scary to me. Like, what if in Fortnite you had to go to faith-based counseling that your parents made you go to? I was really impressed with how it came out, and thankfully I didn't have to do something like this in real life because you know of how scary it is. Let me know what you think, and enjoy. Well, from what I understand, it seems like my Fortnite dad and stepmom finally listened to me about the freaking harassment that the entity kept putting me through, and they decided to take me to another Fortnite therapist counselor. They thought maybe to be a good idea to have the new therapist take a different approach, so they sent me off to the battle bus, different from school bus, and take a trip drop on a Fortnite location called Church Basement Bazaar. I jumped from the bus and thought this would probably be a different type of Fortnite game, since it was in church and all. And church people don't like killing, violence, reproduction, or stuff like kissing, and, before getting married. Typically, I wouldn't have to worry about these things in a Fortnite game anyways, except for the violence and killing, but sometimes you see a Fortnite woman skin that makes you wonder what it would feel like to do something such as a stolen kiss and holding hands while maybe even feeling the butterflies of the stomach with an erection as well. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, and I reminded my in-game Fortnite body that was just playing another normal game of Fortnite, and when I saw the cross depicting a Jonesy that was sort of Middle Eastern in appearance and was Jesus, that this was a sacred place. And this was my ticket out of meeting with the entity every freaking week and talking about stupid crap like my feelings and bullying, which I don't do. I walked down the Fortnite Tabernacle steps and it reminded me of receiving this thing called communion, which is sort of like looting a player after they're killed, but different because you are actually eating their skin and drinking their blood. Last time I received Fortnite communion you could say was during an epic showdown. At least that was the last time before other stuff happened, such as the fallout from the alleged cheeks grabbing incident. And I no longer had an older male role model because of that, or a close to the same age as me female companion who lived in my house either because of that, even though no one freaking believes me that a rogue sort of medallion came inside my PlayStation and its gunk must have caused things to act up. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, and I arrived in the Fortnite church vault. I could tell this was a different sort of Fortnite game because I didn't have to kill any boss for a medallion to open the vault, and instead the face medallion scanner asked the question, do you pray to Middle Eastern Jonesy and accept his love in your heart? I guess I had never thought about it, but it does make sense to pray to a Jonesy that is actually more Middle Eastern in appearance than white and blonde because most of the events in the Fortnite Bible did take place in different countries where people did look more like the diversity default skins other than the classic white ones. So I answered this. Yes, I pray to Middle Eastern Jonesy and accept his love and loot in my heart. I sorta chuckled to myself for sneaking in a joke there. Hoped that it would lighten the mood of the admittedly bleeped up stuff I was there to talk about to the Fortnite church counselor about. I knocked on the door and a friendly looking skin of an elderly man with a robe that looked like a bathrobe with a little bit more of a holy appearance opened up the door. Welcome to Humility Abode, is what he said, and I chuckled a little, as if he said a statement about the state of his abode. Well, Terrence, I did get some notes from the entity. I rolled my eyes like a sarcasm boss when I heard that. I did not want the entity to be brought up in my faith-based Fortnite counseling appointment. And I'm a little caught up on the situation. Why don't we start by... Before he could finish the sentence, I thought about poning him like a boss. Listen, the entity always used to ask me how various things which I allegedly did wrong made me feel, and even though to mention that all this stuff isn't my fault because of the cursed medallion. So why don't we not waste our time and actually do something that will help me? The old man fiddled at his robe for a spell, before saying, okay, where would you like to start this session at? I sorta got the dang impression that this was gonna be more of the same entity bullcrap that I was used to, but maybe I should give this old codger a chance since he wasn't actively invading my HUD screen and making me take in-game damage. This was actually a relatively not even violent Fortnite match, which was nice, and the player's remaining bar didn't show naught but a death to be observed. I guess technically it makes sense, as perhaps every of the other players were dropping in the therapy-based map locations, which were there as yet another freaky example of scary map names that went wrong as being different from what it should be based on the chapter season model, and this was meant to be an introspective thing for all the players alike and different to partake itself in. But not me though. All those other players may have done weird things that made kids at school point behind your back to your flaws and such, but I definitely don't blame myself, as stated before. This is the result of the naked clothes-wearing strange NPC giving me a medallion that infiltrated my real life, allegedly. So all that is to say, this is what I said to the faith-based Fortnite counselor. Listen, a bunch of stuff sort of shifted in my life and a weird thing happened, notwithstanding that caused a strange occurrence within the environment of a place of residence. You get it now, old man? This is not the doing of any of my fault. The old man reconsidered his faith, most likely from that harshly logical statement I made. Yup, I think that qualifies as a pwn of sorts. Maybe let's reconsider this differently, the old man said, and start this off in prayer. Where even is that? I said like an epic troll. The old man didn't laugh, but instead looked as though perhaps he was to be a facsimile of the ultra-lame The Entity. Dear Middle Eastern Fortnite version of Jonesy, I just pray that you grant us the patience to work with this young man Terrence and resolve the battle that's going on inside him, and grant him the help he needs to move on from this moment of life. Yawn. Boring. Sounds like I'd rather be sleeping in a bed with sheets and blankets as opposed to this bee crap. I piped in Middle Eastern Fortnite Jonesy, grant me the patience to deal with this trolling stupid and maybe get a victory royale in the process. And then I snickered. The same as the candy bar because I'm not me when I haven't eaten yet. Although paradoxically, I still consider myself that I am. The old man didn't even laugh again. Terrence, maybe I think I need to pray harder. And he held his hands to the sky and said a bunch of stuff mostly. Stuff about change and wanting to accept help, and helping me grow beyond a mistake that changed the course of my social life and revealed a bunch of deep-seated issues that existed in my in-game mind which stemmed from the divorce of my in-game Fortnite parents, and lame stuff like that. To be telling the truth of it, it kinda sounded like what I'd imagined the machinations of a cult leader to be spewing out. This guy was talking about how accepting Middle Eastern Jonesy into my heart could help me put this behind me, and I was reminded of The Entity, except The Entity said allowing myself to not be defined by a simple mistake and working on my immediate family relationships was the way to a whole heart again. Even though that was wrong and The Entity was a freaking lame who made me lose many a victory royale and basketball game just by being seen as the type of player who had to visit him. So basically, I refused to talk about to him because I've heard that cults do a lot of stuff. Things like have values, have a leader that they listen to, and even kill people not just in Fortnite where it's okay, but actually in real life where that's a crime. To put it rock, paper, scissors like, yeah, I wasn't gonna make this guy think his cultish tactics were going to work on me. I refused to talk to my mouth and didn't let him make me think to consider that he was gonna get a peep out of me. So the game ended, and I went back on the battle bus to tell my in-game parent and blended family step-parent that I didn't like that. But the cult must have brainwashed my parents into thinking that other forms of battle royale counseling meetings might be more effective than The Entity. Well, crap. Looks like the real horror of this Fortnite game that I went through is the fact that my effing parents fell for this crap. Much like how rational people are driven to doing irrational things in a cult, such as sleeping with people. Well, guys, there it was. I pretty much came up with a pretty dang scary concept, and honestly, in my opinion, it sort of blew all my other work out of the water. What with the discussions of cults, of a basement of the church, and even a contemplation on the controversy of was Jesus white. Of course, I used Middle Eastern Fortnite Jonesy to sort of represent as a pretty deep and hard to understand metaphor of Jesus in real life. But anyways, yeah, I've just been working on my stories being full of sort of double meanings and pretty crazy literary things like that, and honestly, I think it's really working. So, If you enjoyed this Fortnite horror story and it made you scared, why don't you leave a like on the video? And even leave a comment on the video as well, sort of about the emotions that it made you feel, and probably how it wasn't even a big deal what the main character went through. That he had to go to the faith-based Fortnite counselor for.